hundreds of cars battle it out on the Liqui Moly Power Pit for both the Go to Woe and Burnout throughout Summernats 24, it is the Burnout Masters that grabs everyone's attention. Burnout Masters are the elite burnout competitors, proven performers who have repeatedly finished in the top 3 at past Summernats burnout events. Judging is simple, instant smoke and lots of it, and these masters do it better than anyone. In front of a huge crowd, drag racing icon Victor Bray warmed the crowd up nicely in his Sid Chrome supercharged 57 Chev. Phil Kurgan started the final qualifying off in style in his silver 1980 Holden Commodore before things got too hot in the back end that even left the wheel archers screaming for mercy. West Aussie Steve Sines had his Holden HZ singing and bouncing off the rev limiter repeatedly during his burnout effort. Next up was the purple and gold 1973 Ford Falcon Ute of Peter Gramusa. Peter started strongly and kept high RPM for 56 seconds before easing off the throttle for just a moment, and the engine temperature became too hot for a strong finish. Peter Gray is a true burnout master, and the Frying Hog kicked off strongly with a sustained burnout in his supercharged 502 cubic inch big block Monaro. Gray's optimal revs for almost a minute and a half saw the tyre sidewalls say goodbye. Danny Smith's big black Chev was a real crowd pleaser. However, a loss of vital wheel speed and then tyre smoke cost him a chance of making the all-important final 5. But he still went hard to the finish with the engine cooling system begging for mercy. Steve Loader was riding the throttle early in his black 540 Cuba big block Holden. That cost him vital points, and then we saw a big flame-out moment which ended his run.
Steve, inspecting the damage there, that was pretty full on.
Yeah, just broke a tail shaft there, so had a bit of fire, made me stop, and then broke a tail shaft, so bit bad luck, but what happens?
Matt Power then charged out in his orange 1972 HQ Ute, and despite some flutter of the injector butterflies, the tyre smoke was consistent for the precious 60 seconds. This was enough to see Matty make the Liqui Moly Final 5. Don Elphick introduced a small block change-up in his sweet 1971 X-White Falcon. Elphick had all of his 331 cubic inches banging on the limiter, causing the car to pay the ultimate price in the engine department. Rod Waters was next out in his 509 cubic inch orange HQ. After a solid and smooth start, Waters struck a loss of smoke about 48 seconds into his sequence and took that little bit too long in regaining optimal tyre smoke. But it was a flaming spectacular all the same. Well, the first half of the Liqui Moly Burnout Masters Final 5 qualifying is done. And with Peter Gray, Steve Sines and Matt Powers so far the standouts. We will bring you the second half of the action later in the show. Welcome back to the Liqui Moly Power Pit as we are in pursuit of finding out who will transfer from the 18th Burnout Masters into the Liqui Moly Final 5. And there is some massive cash up for grabs. The blue Holden HZ Ute of Gareth Kerr lost engine rev early into his run, which also affected his smoke production before losing power and momentum that ended his chances of progression through to the Final 5. Like so many of the Burnout stars in the Liqui Moly Power Pit, James North's orange 350 Chev powered LX Tirana is a nicely presented machine. However, North lost his compass momentarily that saw him tag into the barrier and out of the Final 5 contention. Aaron Mackley started well in his airbrushed HG panel van before he fried his tyres and cooked his motor, and thankfully in that order. After a couple of reasonable skids, it was time for Mick Brasher to grab the event by the scruff of the throat. A strong start with bucket loads of smoke. Brasher was able to bash out a big sequence that lasted almost 2 minutes straight. That included smooth caresses of the gas pedal and ended only when the tyres were obliterated. Debbie Gray kept the action cranking, but for a teeny tiny hesitation at the start, delivered an awesome display of burnout skill, ripping and tearing with great control on the Liqui Moly power pit. This left her very close to a Final 5 showdown.
Debbie showing the boys how it's done and how amazing.
Oh, that was just amazing. Like, I blew both the tyres and I did a donut in the skinny part of the track, which is not easy, but got it through, but awesome.
Andrew Griffiths also demonstrated in his 502 cubic inch Holden Tirana that he was within reach of a famous Liqui Moly Final 5 spot with an impressive smoke show. The shortest burnout of the Masters had to be Mark Delacroix, suffering mechanically early on in his green Ford Escort. Leroy Reese started with a stack of smoke in his Gold Statesman, but just had a couple of slight stall moments that could ever so slightly hinder his chances. But one thing is for sure, this smoke machine is knocking on the door of the all-important Liqui Moly Final 5 with a most muscular sequence. Last but not least comes the legend in his Mustang. It's Gary Myers. The Burnout King won his first Summernats crown back in 1993, and he has been dominating the scene ever since. As Myers approached the Liqui Moly power pit, from the moment the engine hit beyond 7,000 RPM, all the ingredients were there. Plenty of smoke, plenty of engine noise, and plenty of driving skill. So much so, in fact, it saw the Burnout World Champion smoke his way to number 1, heading into the Liqui Moly Burnout Championship Top 5 final. So let's check out the top 10 at the end of qualifying. And just sneaking into the 10, Don Elphick, Andrew Griffiths in 9. Debbie Gray missed out on the 5, but a good effort for 8. Danny Smith and Leroy Reese just missing out on the final 5. There it was, Matt Power, Peter Gray, Steve Sines, Mick Brasher and Gary Myers to fight it out in the final. Well, the rain has arrived and this will make for trying conditions for our Burnout Masters, but they are willing to risk it all. First up out of the Liqui Moly finals, Mick Brasher. Oh yeah, part 1 of the judging criteria, instant smoke. You can tick that box. Covering this crowd. This tiny little KE20 Corolla. Throws around once, around twice. That's more points in the judging criteria, but gotta keep that smoke consistent. One of our Burnout winners last year at Summernats 23, stepping up to the big plate in the Liqui Moly Masters. Rubber coming away from the little Corolla. The right rear's gone. They love it. Mick Brasher, the first of the 5, competing for $15,000. How will the judges score that one? Instant smoke, continuous smoke. And here's that right rear coming away. That's bonus points if you can pop 1 or 2 of these tyres. Second up from Perth, West Australia. Kinger, Steve Sines. He's blown HQ. His first time running in the Masters. Smoke deviates for just a second, but this looks good early on from Sines. defending Burnout Masters champion for the last 2 years at his home place at Perth Motorplex. Those RPM just started to dip there. That could be costing him 1 or 2 points, but they're up again. Listen to that blower. Just a few drops of rain out here as we start to shred the left rear tyre. It's slippery conditions. That's it from Kinga. He's on top of the blower. A showman all the way, one of our younger competitors. Let's have a look at that tyre, let him go once more. Oh boy, it's done a fair bit of damage on its way. Does the right rear go? Just held on for dear life. And now a teammate appears. It is the Burnout King, the world champion. Gary Myers, looking for his 8th title here at the Street Machine Summernats in Canberra. Look at the smoke. Purchased this car when he was just 17 years old in 1982, and hasn't it done him proud? Massive RPM. It's higher than usual. We're used to seeing this car around 7,000 RPM. Taking the rev limiter off, and he's hoping the extra RPM will get him home this weekend. Pushing 8,000 RPM out of the Mustang. So much more engine wear. He says he ignores that temperature gauge, ignores the oil temperature. It's a race between what's going to explode first, the rear tyres or what's sitting in front of him. New South Wales. Fist pump out the window. That smoke has not deviated along with that RPM. It dips a little bit. Hold on to that smoke, Gary. That's it. Listen to this response. They love him here in Canberra. And the whole time, that was the picture. Smoke absolutely pouring out of the rear of that 66 Mustang. Will it be good enough? The aptly named Matt Power, he's 4th up from Queensland. T for tough, all right. And this ain't his first rodeo, that's for sure. A runner-up last year to Mick Brasher. This ute used to be twin-blown, but even with one supercharger, still completely filling the place with smoke. Judges will mark him very high for the smoke. Look at it. Keeping that RPM high. Oh, fire! Big oil fire in the engine compartment. The fireys are running out there. Oh, they're on it quick. He's out of the car all the same, Matt Power. Arms raised, but I've got to admit that could be the $15,000 dash right there in a big flame. Here it is again. Oh, at the right-hand side. As it put a Conrod out, big oil fire. That 540 cubic inch big block let go. And we have one to go. And look who it is. From Ringwood, Victoria. Running for Hog's Breath, it's Peter Gray, a former winner, along with his wife Debbie. Thumbs up and plenty of smoke. The last burnout from Summernats 24 riding on board. Can he steal the big bucks from Gary Myers? Here we go. Oops. Oh, he just catches it. That could cost him some points. What will he be thinking inside that car right now? Has he blown it? Back onto the big RPM. Plenty of smoke. The crowd love it all the same. much of that liquid moly burnout pad as possible. Plenty of up here and some sparks. I'm positive I saw some sparks, so maybe some drivetrain issues at the back of this Monaro. The man who's been running exhibitions for years, but this is their chance to compete. Has he done enough? Oh, there goes the right rear. A few more revs and that's it for Peter Gray. No, keep going. He's done. An almighty cheer. Will it be enough? Let's look at that right rear letting go. Bang! Just shreds it. Was it enough? The crowd eagerly awaiting the decision. The rain just starting to sprinkle again. Let's go down to the liquid moly power pit.
Gary, congratulations. You are the Burnout Master again.
It's pretty awesome. We won the big one in 2000 when they changed the rules, and to win this one this year and dedicate this win to Milton Natalie, I am so chumped. And we took out first and third in the gate away with the cars. It's just been awesome.